What's going on, the 208 crew? We are back. It is Tuesday. What are we? December 28th.
28th, baby.
And we are going to do a ton of review. There's been a Tyler Huntley sighting, a Tua sighting, even an RJ Harvey sighting, 3 touchdowns. We have four teams on bye week, plus injuries. What all does this mean? We'll tell you. Let's get into it right now. Make sure you're locked in. You guys know, do the thing with the button thing and stuff. So we want it. That's how it helps the channel here. So, gentlemen, good to see you. Justin, Chance, what is going on? Chance, welcome back.
Oh, boys, been a minute. Glad to be back. Thanks for holding it down while I was dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, farming is a lot of stuff. There's a lot that goes to it.
It's a lot of stuff.
Justin, you guys are done with football. I think we talked a little bit.
Whoa, we're not done with football. We're not done with football.
Well,
no, we're not done yet.
You as the head coach.
Freshman wise, we are done. But varsity, hopefully we got it. Oh, varsity, we got hopefully a few more games. If I was a football fan of strictly just the Falcons, I don't know if I would enjoy life that much right now as a person. But like, thankfully, I play a game. I do a fantasy game about a fantasy where, like, I feel like I'm pretty good at fantasy football, and my teams get me through Sundays, like last Sunday, where I'm just like, why on earth at 6 years old or however I was did I pick the Falcons? Why did I pick them? They are, like, I cannot stress this enough. I literally took a depression nap. Like, I just went to sleep during the fourth quarter. I just took a 5-hour nap because I was fuming. I was so mad at just everything that is wrong with that organization, how they use their players. I feel like they sat out Penix and Drake London, and because they thought they were going to beat the Dolphins, they just sat these guys out. Oh, we'll just win. And it is so infuriating to watch all this talent just go to waste. I'm on the verge of just saying blow it up, trade Bijan away, trade Drake London away, because they don't deserve.
You're not there. Stop.
I'm like, they don't deserve to play for this franchise. Like, have Drake go play for Denver. Like, go have Bijan go play for the Bears. Like, I genuinely feel bad for the players on this team. That's where I'm at.
Well, I don't know about you, but all of a sudden this turned into a counseling session, like, really fast. And I'm not sure what happened.
Go off, King. Go off, King. You're allowed.
I'm pretty mad. I feel like my fantasy football wise, like, my winning percentage is up there. Like, it is. I lost for the first time in best ball this week to Matt. I was 12-0, 14-0. I'm just like, all right. So that was my only loss on the week, I think. So.
Yeah, with tons of injuries. We talked about that last week. Again, if you did not watch the episode, watch it. It's fascinating. Again, in my current league, in one of our big ones that we've had for a long time, 60% of those first round picks have been injured and have busted, and you would have been better off, at least statistically, trading your first round pick for second and thirds and things like that. So super fascinating to follow, but tons of injuries. And well, speaking of injuries, let's get into the news, Justin, because you guys all know the injury anyway, but let's get into some news and talk about
what's going on.
All right, Justin, what do you got for us?
Just more depressing news. I guess that's going to be my role today. Cam Scadaboo. Just a horrific
Tyrone Tracy season, baby.
Just a really bad injury that I feel bad. Like, it just sucks. Like, for him to go out that way. Like, I don't have any shares of Cam Scadaboo, but it sucks for him to go out that way. Saquon, I thought Saquon popped the hamstring. That's what it looked like on that long run. They said it's a groin. They said he'll be okay.
That's on bye this week, so.
Yeah. Judkins got hurt. He got a shoulder. Anthony Richardson had surgery, but that's not really relevant. Spencer Rattler finally got benched. Tyler Shuck time, baby. Let's go.
He is starting this week.
No. They both suck. but whatever.
To be fair, I thought that about Jackson Dart. So I don't know.
Let's go.
Maybe
Let's go.
I mean, like, if Tyler Shough comes
guy.
out and surprises people,
You won't.
it will have been the second time this year I've been surprised by a rookie quarterback.
Hey, I've been on that Jackson Dart trade for a long time.
Just a fair but quick assessment here. Jackson Dart has as many top 5 finishes at quarterback as Jalen Hurts. 2.
Lineberry flexing on Jackson Dart is my favorite thing.
Jackson Dart and Drake May were my 2 guys to start the season, and they're balling.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it for you. Do you have a lot of Drake May shares?
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
The irony of that is that every time I ask you who I should start, Drake May or Baker Mayfield, you never say Drake.
You can't ask. It's the one guy. You can't ask me. It's Baker.
The
anytime.
one guy.
It will always be Baker.
Yeah.
If you ask me Baker or Josh Allen, it's always going to be those 2.
It hasn't been Baker the last 2 weeks.
No,
Drake May's on a tear, man. Drake May is looking good.
He looks good.
Any other news there, Justin? Just moving on.
I think that's all I got. Maybe I missed something.
Just a few quick additions. Isaiah Pacheco is week to week with an MCL sprain, so keep an eye on that for the really hard to parse through backfield for the Chiefs. And then I don't know if you mentioned, but Scary Terry, he re-injured his quad that had him out for that amount of time. So he is a guy to monitor. He's questionable going into this week. Terry McLaurin with that. Yeah, day to day.
All right. Again, not a lot of news, just tons of injuries and stuff we've been dealing with all year. We going into the last week before we get into this, really the second half of the season. So let's get into our waiver wire pickups. So there's 4 teams that are out, and Chance already alluded to one with the Eagles, but the Tampa Bay Bucks are out, Jets are out, and the Cleveland Browns are out. So a little bit better than last week. We had 6 teams. This week we have 4. So players that we need you to go add, at least to see if they're available. Chance, I'm going to kick you out with the first one, or have you kick off the first one because you already kind of put his name out there. But yeah,
I put his name out there, and I love Cam Scatterboo, man. He's a great story. I loved him in college. He's been a ton of fun. I was really bummed because he went to a team to block my guy from last year, Tyrone Tracy, who I was a big fan of Tyrone Tracy last year going into the draft. He wasn't outstanding, but he was a really serviceable running back as a rookie. Tyrone Tracy is for sure the number 1 waiver wire pickup. I mean, you're going to be able to go out it's hard. I don't know if I would say I'd dump all of my fab for him, but you're going to get a starting running back on an NFL team in the middle of the season off of waivers. I mean, I'm sure he's on a majority of waivers. I know in my leagues, in only one of my redraft leagues was he rostered by a guy who held on to him, but he's going to be a guy you can go out and get. I think you're only going to get really like RB2 numbers out of him. But we know that finding a running back that's going to get touches in that number range that he's going to get as a starting running back, it's hard to find. So Tyrone Tracy should be the number 1 waiver wire ad if you're a team in need.
Yeah, agreed. Coming off that game, 10 carries, 39 yards, 2 receptions for 14 yards. So I think we have to temper his expectations a little bit, but I think for sure it's volumes king in fantasy football. So, and again, only 39% rostered. So I do like the ad there, Chance. Justin, who do you got for us?
I was looking at the Kansas City backfield, but I don't know how that's going to play out, and it feels like they just don't have a rhyme or reason if it's going to be Smith or Hunt. So I'm going to go for a guy that I traded for with Matt in a dynasty trade. So I think it was Matt, maybe, or somebody else. Tajee Spears. I don't know how you guys feel about him. I mean, 52 snap percentage is halfway decent. Tony Pollard seems like a trade candidate right now at this rate. Seems like a couple running backs are getting floated a little bit. I mean, 52%, 9 carries, 59 yards, a touchdown, 3 targets.
He should have had 2 touchdowns if you watch that game.
Yeah, and I think they played against Indianapolis, who's been playing really well. They have the Chargers next week, or this week, I should say, who are a good team. I think he's a good ad for if their trade happens with Tony Pollard. You could see some running back movement around this week or next week. We're getting close to the trade deadline. So just be aware of that. He's only rostered in 47% of leagues right now. So
I think the trade deadline is a week from today. So we have one more week. Trade deadline, I think, this week and next Tuesday, a week from today, we're going to heat up. But I like that Tony Pollard caught up as somebody who could get moved. Tajay is going to be, I mean, if he can stay healthy, great running back. He has 0 ACLs, but he's a really good running back.
Yeah, I certainly agree. And look, Tony Pollard just sucks. He's not good. If just passing the eye test, he doesn't look good. And Tajay is on my list as well. He's a guy that I was targeting. We were targeting him a little bit last week. If he's still out there, you need to target him again. So certainly agree with that. One of the guys I'm looking at, wide receiver. And I just want to pull up his last 2 stats here. Just bear with me here because I had it and then it went away. Shamir Dyke.
Chimere Dike.
Tennessee. Yep. He had 7 receptions, 93 yards, 8 targets, 4 targets last week. And in our league, again, a ton of points, depending on how you're scored. But I think he's easily a wide receiver 3 moving forward. You can get him for nothing. You don't have to spend anything. He kind of perked my eyes last week. He's got to play the Chargers this week, and then on a bye. But if you need a wide receiver to plug and play, I think that's very, very reasonable. He is a guy that could get you some points. So I do like Shamir.
He was drafted ahead of
Io Manor.
Io Manor, thank you. Ayu Manor. I can never remember his name. He was drafted ahead of him. I mean, I think he's definitely a guy that you can go out and get.
Chance, give us another person that you like on the roster.
I'm glad you said that. I'm going to go with my boy Troy Franklin. I think if Troy Franklin is out there, I think you should go pick him up. Now, Denver has been rumored in a lot of wide receiver trade market stuff, but the Troy Franklin Bo Nix connection is a real thing. I mean, it goes back to their time in college. So he's only rostered in 34% of leagues on Sleeper. And the way that the Broncos offense has been cooking in the last 5 quarters, I think he's definitely worth an ad.
I agree. Definitely on my roster as well. I like him a lot. He seems to have overtaken Mims in that role, and Sutton has not done really that great. So, Landy, I see your comment there, but I want to get to Justin. Give me your next one, and we will get you. So hang tight there, Landy. We'll get you squared away.
I think I mentioned him a couple of times. I didn't realize he was ranked this high, to be honest. Kayshon Boutte. Is he that guy for this team right now? Like
he seems to be.
I mean, target-wise, you always want something more, but on the waiver wire at 503, he's linked with, again, that quarterback in Drake May. He's the wide receiver 18 right now, and the scoring that I'm looking at, that's pretty significant. He should be rostered in all leagues. He's rostered in 54% of leagues, so half of them. And he's playing Atlanta this week, guys. And they're playing against Tampa.
Everybody seems to do well against Atlanta.
That's where we're at right now, so...
Jalen
Waddle killed us this week, so I think he's a startable guy. I think you could pick him up and start him in a flex. So,
yep, I agree. A couple of guys that I have for you. Chance, you got a couple of good ones there with Tank Bigsby and Christian Watson for sure. Definitely like both of those guys. I also, for deeper leagues, I like Alec Pierce. He seems to be getting all the deep ball work for the Colts, and had another good couple of catches this last weekend. And I also, if you need to, and I know they're on bye this week, but if you had Judkins, it's not a bad idea to grab Dylan Sampson, who had a pretty good week 1. He's a good running back, just Judkins is better. So those are some of the guys we think you should get. I do want to get to Landy's question here. So, hey guys, traded Derrick Henry, Warren, Ibuka, and Swift for Bijan, JSN, Debo, and Walker. Woo, big trade there. This is a big trade. And don't know the context of this, of what you were looking for, but are you asking if this was a good trade? I think you certainly is if you got Bijan.
Yeah, not only did you get Bijan, but JSN had a bye this week and still leads the NFL in receiving by over 100 yards. So JSN, I mean, I mentioned it offhand before the season that I thought he could lead the league in receptions. I didn't think he was going to lead the league in yards. I mean, he's that guy. It's like JSN and Puka in a race for who can be the best wide receiver, and they're both in the same division. I think you won that trade hands down.
Yeah, the Derrick Henry, Ibuka for really Bijan and JSN. Warren's good. You probably gave up. I mean, you gave up a little bit with Swift, but if you're not big on him, but I do like
context-wise, look at his team, Matt. He has Kittle.
Yeah, I was gonna pull it up.
Like, all right, can you put the trade back up just so we have so we have context? Like, Bijan or Derrick Henry, you probably rather have Bijan, especially if it's any type of half PPR, full PPR. Tyler Warren hurts. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like George Kittle, you'll be okay. Again, Matt, I mean, Chance is not going to want to hear me say this because he's probably going to laugh in my face. I feel like at this rate, having two Falcons is scary in the same offense because they just don't look good right now. That's just where we're at. Even if it is the two guys, like we can all agree that those are their two studs, but they have not featured them the way they have needed to. If you're getting JSN right now, I don't even know how you even get him in a redraft league, in a dynasty league. That is crazy. I mean, it probably took Tyler Warren and Ibuka. Like, you get JSN, you got a cheat code.
I think I would trade Tyler Warren. And I mean, having Kittle like that, and tight end is such a wash anyways. Right? It's good to have studs. It's good to have guys that are going to be great. But, I mean, the guys who are leading the league and scoring a ton of points right now in tight end, you can find a touchdown any week you want off of the waiver at tight end if you're lucky. And I think that's an awesome way to take a position of strength that you had on your team and leverage it into a greater strength with that running back, that wide receiver. I don't think you're going to get a ton out of Debo and Walker, but at least you have guys that are past their bye that can maybe cover a spot when you need it.
Yeah, let's see. Next comment here. I look to make a splash because I got worried with my record being 5-3 trending downhill. I don't think so. Like you are completely set with Bijan and Gibbs. That's the foundation of your team. JSN's good. That's a scary one. And it kind of depends too if it's three wide receivers, right? Three wide receivers can overcome two running back type thing. I think I would look to move London and Dobbins for an upgrade at wide receiver, or maybe you can get an upgrade at quarterback. Although Daniels is just beat up and he's missing his targets, but your team's pretty solid. You might be able to make a couple other moves, but you're 5-3 with that core. You're pretty darn good.
It's a scary, scary team.
Yep. Good job, Landy. Good job.
You are right. Moving on. He has too many Falcons on his team.
Yep.
Yeah. I've come to that. I've come to that realization because that's how I drafted Dynasty. Like if
my life is pain.
If Falcons would have drafted an offensive guy, I would have drafted him.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me too. You have Bijan. I would get his backup.
Yeah, Algier for sure.
I would get Algier for sure. So
can we talk about the fantasy enigma right now that is in fantasy football? Can we talk about Gadsden?
Oh my!
Yeah, God. We're going to. We are going to get to Gadsden.
Can we?
We will get to that. Well, let me get to that because that is part of this episode for sure. We just have to hold on there. Yes. I do want to get to some drops. I do want to get some of our drop players. Who do we need to drop? I don't know. Let me start with Justin. Players that you think need to be dropped, maybe on your team. I kind of put you on the spot here, but for sure.
I'm going to say it, and I don't want to say it, but Travion, at this rate, dude, he can't, like, he fumbled. They're not going to play him.
Yeah.
Like, he is not getting enough touches. Like, don't drop him in Dynasty. Like, that's a little crazy. But, man, we're at the point right now. Like, he's just eating a roster spot.
Landy, this is a yes. If you can make that happen, you should do
it.
Yeah,
for sure. I think with the running backs that you have, Landy, if you can move Hampton, I know that he's going to be coming back, but if you can move Hampton, I'd do it.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, Justin, I agree with you in the drop as well. I think it's probably time to move on from Henderson. Again, we talked about this last week. I used to blame Chance. My comment was I used to blame Belichick for it, and now I think it's not Belichick. I think it's Josh McDaniels. I think he's the one that in that offensive set just wants to run that committee, and it is what it is, and it's unfortunate because Henderson has explosive ability and way better than Stevenson, and gosh, it just kills us fantasy football. It does help them in their real world football, if you want to say that, but it's just unfortunate. Who's a player that you are dropping?
Ramondre's been good, though. I mean, like, Ramondre's been good.
Other than the fumbles. He fumbles and then he's out, right? And it's like it's hard to put him in.
Yeah, I got a drop guy that I wish I would have dropped him a couple of weeks ago, but I think you can drop Jerry Jeudy. I mean, if we're going to talk about guys that are
on my list,
you're like, Jerry Jeudy he's one of those guys that you say that he's a wide receiver one on an offense, but it's not an offense that you want any part of outside of Judkins and Fannin. So I think you are more than okay to go and drop Jerry Jeudy. I give you permission to do that because I held on to him for probably a week or two longer than I should have instead of picking up guys off of waivers.
Yep. I agree. Another player that I'm saying you probably should go ahead and drop, and it's hard. It's probably going to kill Justin because he was high on this guy, but is Matthew Golden. Golden's a guy that I thought was going to do well, and he kind of started out okay. He had a couple targets per game, then 4 and 6 and 5, and now he's back to 4 and 3, trending the wrong way. And now you have guys getting ready to come back, right? You've already got Watson back in the mix. Reed's probably not too far off. So then it becomes this diluted wide receiver room again. And it's unfortunate. If you've been holding on to him, it's okay to drop him. Justin, give me one more that you're also thinking about dropping.
Man, I was going to put Keon Coleman out there, but this is tough.
Mm-hmm. Some tough drops out there.
I think any of the Raiders like wide receiver cores, like Trey Tucker's been a fun one, but I think the only reason he's ranked as high as he is because he had a 36-point game. I think if you give that back to the average, which is like 6 points a game, and Geno Smith just looks like a shell of himself. That's a little scary to have any receiving threat that isn't named Brock Bowers on this team. That I think the Raiders have been a pretty big disappointment, probably to Chance's excitement. Like they have some good offensive firepower, but I don't know if Pete Carroll is it for them. So
shout out Nick Wright, who projected the Raiders to finish second in the AFC West. What a clown, dude. Gosh. I have a guy that I've heard his name come up just in a couple other conversations about drops. And I want a heat check from you guys. Is Bill droppable? Bill Krosky-Merritt, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
No.
I don't think so either.
I mean, I don't think so, but he's a tough guy. It's like, those guys who have shown out and are there, but you are right. The Commanders are just hurt. So I just wanted a heat check. I know that he's been trending down pretty heavy the last 2 or 3 weeks. So
a guy that I also believe, Quentin Johnson. I hope you sold high on him when we told you to. He has fallen off the radar. I'm going to sell. To me, he's a drop, 100% drop.
I went mad on that one.
0 targets, 0 receptions last week. Before that, he had 6 targets, 2 catches. 1 happened to be a TD. But as soon as he did well, I was selling him. Those other receivers around him are going to get more work. He is a big play, big trick, one-trick pony. I don't want that vulnerability or that too much flexibility in on my fantasy team. I am okay dropping Quentin Johnson.
There.
I think there was one other guy that I was going to bring up, and I can't remember who it is.
I got one more. But if Chance doesn't have anybody,
we'll end on that.
Chance, do you have another guy? Or are you good?
No, I'm good.
Xavier Legette. Did he just have one good week and he's just like, I'm out? Like, how do you guys feel about the Panthers don't look great? That's coming from a Falcons fan.
I'd rather have Kayshon Boutte than Xavier Legette.
100%.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I feel like Boutte, even though he's been more productive, like I feel like he is in a really similar make of a wide receiver as Legette is. He just has a quarterback who can get it done. Now, my only thing with Xavier Legette is I feel like the Panthers are surprisingly frisky. There's some frisky kitties out there, those Panthers. And I just don't know if they want to take it to the next level, if they want to contend for a playoff spot, which I think they could based on how the Falcons look, no offense, but they're going to need somebody else. So, I mean, I think he is droppable, but there could come a week where all of a sudden he's the new waiver wire hotness.
For sure.
I never think he's going to be a consistent player. That's just where I'm at.
All right. That is our, waiver wire. Go get them, drop them, whatever you have to do to get your guys. And we're going to talk a little bit more about buys and sells. We're playing that game today, and I have guys for these two gentlemen. What are we doing with them? Let's get. All right, gentlemen. I have guys that I kind of want. Yeah, I want to buy. Yeah, I want to sell. And then I started just kind of mixing them up. So I'm going to throw some names out there for you, and you tell me what you need to do. Now, obviously, it depends on your architect of your team. It depends on your record. There's lots of variabilities, but we'll just say in a vacuum, what are you doing with these guys? Or if you are going to buy or sell, give us some reasons why you would do that based on your current team. So the first guy that I have for you, Breece Hall, buy or sell. Think about it for a minute, and then I will start with Chance.
I'm a buy on Breece Hall. I think that for me, I want to roster good players. I just want to roster good football players. I don't think that's ever going to hurt you in fantasy. And Breece Hall, I don't think he gets traded. I personally don't think he's going to get traded. I think the Jets are going to hold on to him. He's too good of a player. I don't think you're going to get enough back from him. There's 2 or 3 teams that are making an actual push who would pay for him, and it's probably the Chiefs or the Chargers. I have a hard time seeing another team. I know the Bears would love him, but I don't know. Yeah, I think he's in the best situation he can be in on a team that lacks serious weapons and will continue to use him. If you can buy him, I mean, it's going to be harder after this last big blow-up game, but I'm buying Breece Hall if I can.
Justin?
I did not think you were saying I'm going to sell him, especially in redraft. Realistically, if I could trade straight up Breece for Bucky, I probably would. If there was some combination that I could get, Devon Achane, Saquon, just some guys that I'm looking at right now, I probably would. I just don't think. I think the Jets are an enigma. He's on a bye week, so he's going to be on ice this whole week. The high from him scoring these 2 touchdowns, 133 yards. I just think it's something to pivot off of right now. That's just where I'm at with Breece. Long term, like Dynasty, I'm probably going to hang on to him because I think he's going to sign somewhere else. But I'm kind of on the same boat as Chance. I don't think he's going to get traded. I think he's very much on that timeline that Saquon is on.
I certainly, for myself, I think I'm probably buying. But however, I was trying to buy him last week because I knew he was playing Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's defense is absolutely atrocious. So you're not going to see too many teams' defenses like that. So understand that 18 carries, 133 yards, and 2 touchdowns, what Justin alluded to. If I have him on a team that I'm struggling with, I'm selling right now. I'm trying to get a 2-for-1, somebody that needs running back depth. It's something along those lines. But buying is going to be hard to Chance's point. But yeah, tough one. I'm probably selling I'm going to try to really sell high this week. So player number 2. This one's interesting. Caleb Williams. What are we doing with Caleb Williams, Justin? What thoughts?
Oh my gosh.
Buy or sell?
I mean, what is he right now? Let's see. He is quarterback 12. I mean, he's right at 12. So, I mean, in a 12-team league, he is a startable asset. He has not played well, but he gets Cincinnati this week. So that's kind of a plus. I'd probably wait a week and then sell him. He doesn't rustle my jimmies like Chance has always said to me. Like, that's just not a guy that I want to go with. He has some rushing upside. I think Ben Johnson is still a really good coach. I don't know if Caleb Williams is his cup of tea. I'd rather have Jordan Love. I'd rather have Baker. I'd rather have Dak Prescott. Just a few guys that I would rather have instead of him. So,
yeah.
Yep.
I'm also selling Caleb Williams. I look at the rankings, and you are right. Caleb Williams is at 12, but there are a good number of quarterbacks below him that I think you could probably go get that I like as much, if not more than Caleb Williams, right? And in fantasy, I always have to remind myself that you either have a quarterback who scores you 25 plus points, or you have a regular quarterback. I mean, most quarterbacks are going to score you that 17 to 22 points in a week. It's only really your studs that are going to be getting you the 25, 27, 30-point games. And I think Caleb Williams is right in there with guys like Trevor Lawrence and Kyler Murray and some of those other guys that are, hey, I bet I get 20 points out of this guy. And right now with like Kyler Murray being out, I would trade Caleb Williams for Kyler Murray plus. And I bet you could get it done and stream somebody while he's there. You picked up Joe Flacco last week and streamed him. He was pretty awesome. And Joe Flacco could be a guy who's still available. I doubt it. But I would sell Caleb Williams just because I think I could still get something for him now. I would wait a week and I would sell him next week because I think he's going to be really good next week. Some of the defenses in that division, they scare me a little bit as far as what he's going to have to face in division and the points he's going to suffer moving forward. I would rather pivot to somebody who has an easier divisional schedule.
Fair enough. Again, the Bears, interesting, a little bit of deja vu. It's kind of started out the same record last year, and now they're kind of in that same boat. This year, more to come. I'm probably selling him, or at least not trying to go after him. I would probably wait till he has a better game and then try to sell him. So, our next person, Tetroa McMillan. What are we doing? Are you buying or selling this player?
Lineberry, you want to go first? You love this guy.
I loved it. He's a dog. I'm gonna keep him. He is a number one wide receiver. He's a first round wide receiver. He had 10 targets, 7 receptions, 99 yards. I mean, he's the number one, and he plays in an awful division to go off a Chance's point. He gets Green Bay, New Orleans, Atlanta the next 3 games. I think you're fine. He'll continue to have a really easy schedule, pretty tasty playoff schedule with New Orleans and Tampa. He does have a bye week 14, which is super, super late, but he's a good consistent player. If he's your wide receiver 2, you're pretty happy, I feel like.
Chance?
It's this time of year that I love fantasy football because our waivers were about 2 guys on a garbage team. We mentioned 2 Titans, right? In Tajay Spears and Chimere Dike. We are talking about, and again, we thought that the Panthers were going to be bad this year. They've surprised, but I think it's important to note that you want guys that are on bad teams that have to play from behind and work to score points. And that's kind of still the boat that I see the Panthers in. And so I'm also a buy on Tet. I think he's going to grow as a receiver, and I think he's going to continue to have to be fed. He just scored his first touchdowns 2 weeks ago and is still doing really well on the season. I would buy him while I think his value is perceived to be lower.
Yeah, I think, and to Chance's point, his only 2 touchdowns came against Dallas. He scored 2 that game. He's 63 targets, 37 catches for 512 yards. Again, as a rookie, doing well, on pace for over 1,000 yards to get there, right? Should be really close. I think the $1 million question is quarterback play. So you're kind of like in that, but they're going to have to throw the ball.
I just want to ask you guys, and you can respond thumbs up or thumbs down on if you think Bryce Young is a good quarterback.
No, unless he's playing the Falcons every week. No.
Okay.
I think time is running out on. I think time's running out on him very quickly.
I could see them pivot off of him this year, as well as the coach. I do think. What's the coach's name again? Gosh darn it! What's the Panthers head coach?
I want to say Dave Canales. I don't.
Yeah, Dave Canales.
Yes,
I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good OC. I think he knows what he's doing. I don't think Bryce Young is it. I think he got ruined pretty fast in that Doug Peterson era, where it was like your bench, you're starting, your bench, you're starting, your bench, you're starting. I think that kind of ruined it. So.
I want to say our final guy because we have a few more, and this is good. There's
it better be my guy.
There's methods by Mattis here.
It better
it's
be
not
my
your
guy.
guy yet. It's not your guy yet. I'm getting there. Quinshon Judkins, who was on a bye this week, currently 118 carries, 486 yards, has 5 touchdowns, 60 receiving yards on 12 receptions, 0 touchdowns. Are you buying him or are you selling him? And again, 4.1 yards a carry.
I'll take this first, Lineberry. I am a huge Judkins buy. I think that he's the kind of running back that you're going to get a lot out of because at this point, the Browns, they don't feel like they're playing for a playoff spot. They could, I mean, they're still going to be competitive, but there's such a youth movement at the Browns on that team that they're going to push those young guys and see exactly what they've got out of them. They can't pass the ball. I'd be really curious if we see Shedeur Sanders play at all this year. I feel like that narrative is kind of tamped down a little bit, but it's Harold Fannin, it's David Njoku, who has a ton of trade rumors around him, and then it's Quinshon Judkins, and he is showing that he can carry that load. I don't see them giving him less work the further into the season they get. I only see them ramping him up. He's a big buy for me.
Justin?
Yeah, I mean, this is the week. I think this is probably the last week you're going to be able to buy him. He just had a pretty dang bad game against New England, and he's a buy this week. I think this will be the last week that you can buy him in redraft, in dynasty, whatever you want to do. I think this is the last week it's going to happen. So I think you need to be kind of aggressive here when it comes to this. Like, would you trade Breece Hall for Judkins straight up?
I would. I think I would.
There you go. That's probably what it's going to cost, somewhere around there. Maybe a Bucky, maybe a Breece, maybe a Josh Jacobs. I don't know. It's good. You're going to have to be a little aggressive.
I will trade him. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I will trade him if I can trade up, right? If I can move him for somebody a little bit better, I would move him. One of the things that's interesting, so early on, 6.1 yards, 5.2, 3.9, 4.8. Last 3 games, 3.0, 3.4, 2.1 on his yards per carry. So trending down, and one of those games was Miami, which was interesting. So I don't know. I don't know if he was injured during those times and it finally caught up to him. I do like him, but already 118 carries, on pace for over 200, probably 250 yards or 250 carries this year with that offense. So I like the volume. Volume is king. If you can get him for the right price, and now is the right time to buy, coming off a crappy week, an injury, and a buy. So keep that in mind. All right. I have 5 other players, and again, this is a different list.
I love this.
So this is good.
This is great podcasting.
So Vidal, what are we doing with Vidal with the Chargers? Chance, give me your, or whoever wants to take this one first. Who wants Vidal?
I'll go first. I'm a sell on Vidal, you know? And I think, to me, he's coming off of a great game. He looks awesome. He's scoring points. Hassan Haskins was hurt. He's the only show in town. And he might be the only show in town for another 2 or 3 weeks. But I know Omarion Hampton's coming back. I don't think Vidal is going to score you points in the fantasy championships like you would want him to. And so if I have him and I'm looking that far into the future, I want to sell him now for a guy who will score me points in the championship. Omarion Hampton may or may not come back. I mean, I've heard things that his injury is worse than they thought it was going to be. He's still in a walking boot. But that's why there's also a lot of chatter about the Chargers being a contending team who are more likely to trade for a running back, which we would all hate for fantasy. If you're a dynasty owner and you're like, oh, the Chargers have Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton and Vidal, and then Tony Pollard or whoever becomes available, Jerome Ford, I would sell him while you could. I just don't think he's going to provide points when I need him to provide points when I could get somebody else.
Justin?
Dude, I'm kind of on the train of Vidal, man.
Okay.
I did not think I'd be here, but like, I think Matt was the one that brought it up, and he's made me think about it a couple of times with Vidal when I started really kind of picking him up in a lot of leagues off waivers. The Chargers have been real sketchy about Hampton, like real sketchy. Like they've been hush hush. Hey, it's this week. Like he's eligible to come off this week. This. I've seen week 10. I've seen week 13. I've seen the whole rest of the season. I mean, you got to ride this one out. I think that's where I'm at. Unless someone just gives you a crazy offer, I think you hang on to Vidal and you ride this out, because I don't think Hassan Haskins is that guy. He seems kind of injury prone. Like, I like Vidal. Like, he's a good player. He's 5'8".
You know Vidal's alma mater? You know where he played
Vidal?
ball at? Yeah.
Some small school. I don't know.
Oh,
I know where Hassan
Troy.
Haskins played. That's it. Troy. So DeMarcus Ware back in the day. I think that's the only Troy alumni I know. So, I mean, he's not small. He's not victim weight. He is very much a bowling ball. Like, 20
He's MJD. He's MJD 2.0.
Yeah, I'm good with just going with him. He's got Tennessee, then Pittsburgh. I'm going to roll with him because I don't think Hampton's going to come back. At least not till you are in the playoffs, and you got to go for the playoffs. But if you're like 6-0 or 7-0 or 8-0 or what it is, if you could trade it for something up that'll help you in the playoffs, then sure. But like, if you're fighting for a spot, which probably the majority are, I think you just ride that wave.
So I'm going to agree and disagree with Justin a little bit. So I do think he's a guy. Here's what worries me just a little tiny bit, and maybe I'm just being a statistician Steve. He's had 50 carries in the last 3 games. That's a lot of carries.
I was like, is that the end of the stat?
No, that 50 carries in the last 3 games, and it's like he had 4 prior to the other 2 games, which he really didn't do anything. So I'm kind of looking at this. I'm like, all right, I don't know that he's going to be a true workhorse back when Haskins comes back healthy. I think it's going to end up being a little bit by committee. And look, as much as they want to run the ball, it's the craziest thing, but the Chargers seem to be a throwing team right now. And you're just like, dang, okay. But if I can get something for him and upgrade, I'll do it. But I'm not going to panic if I don't get anything. So it was a pretty interesting one. I saw that and I'm like, I got to ask the gentlemen what their thoughts on Vidal. So
by the way,
you're right. Heck of a good player. Next one.
I just believe the Chargers are going to charger. I'm just an avid believer that the Chargers are
they're the Falcons of the AFC. That's just what they are.
Can be.
They are.
Another guy that we're, at least I was very big on him in the preseason. I'm curious on your guys' take, but what are you doing with Travis Hunter?
God, dude.
So with that, did you guys see the news? I think it was the end of last week that Jacksonville was taking trade calls on Brian Thomas Jr.
Which, no way. Never happened.
Crazy to me, but they were taking trade calls. I feel like in the areas that I have Travis Hunter, I'm going to keep him. But I'll be honest with you, Brian Thomas Jr. scares me a lot. He has a mad case of the yips. That's all it is. He's still the great receiver he was last year. He has the same quarterback throwing to him. He's still an alpha receiver. He's just got the yips. He just can't catch the ball. And if there's anything that you can recover from as an NFL wide receiver, it's a case of the yips where you can catch the ball. And I think when Brian Thomas Jr. turns it on, it won't take him long to go back to being who he was. I think Travis Hunter transcendent player, but for me, he's probably a sell. He's probably a sell because I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to get it together. That's the optimist in me, I guess.
Justin?
Okay, so I have a few thoughts here. So, Brian Thomas to the Bills would be so fun.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be so fun. But this whole Brian Thomas dilemma is giving me like serious like PTSD of Allen Robinson, where Allen Robinson had like 15 touchdowns.
Oh, why would you say that?
And he
why would you put that on him?
Allen Robinson was never the same after that. Like, I always remember that year. I'm just like, I think Allen Robinson was like a top 5 pick that year because he went off. Like, I was like, this is the greatest receiver I've ever seen in my life. He is so good at high pointing the ball. He's a second-round pick out of Penn State. I'm like, dude, this guy's a dog. And then, like, Thanos snapped. Never again. So I'm getting that vibe right now with Brian Thomas. And like he hasn't fixed it. So, on that note, does Travis Hunter get pushed into that one role, which I know he can be? He is a different cat. He's a different athlete. I feel like he's been pulled in 2 different directions. You do not draft a corner that high in the draft. That's where I'm at. I think there's realistically, like, if we were to do like a fantasy draft, I don't think PS2, who I think is one of the best defensive players in football, would go in the top 15. I think there's a few wide receivers that might go in the top 10. But, like, I think you got to play Travis at the 1 until Brian Thomas, hopefully, figures it out. That's just where I'm at. I think you keep Travis Hunter as hard as that is right now, and maybe they assert him in that 1 role.
It's fair enough. So I'm going to give you guys 2 stat lines, and I'll give you my views on it. I just want you to tell me who is who. So, and Justin may have already looked this up, but 27 for 55, 365 and a touchdown, 28 for 45, 298 and a touchdown. Who's got what? Brian Thomas Jr. or Hunter? Who's got the more yards and who has the more targets, receptions?
I feel like Travis does.
I think Travis has, as you said, Travis has the more.
I think he has more.
Brian Thomas Jr. has 27 catches on 55 targets for 365 and 1 touchdown. And Hunter has 28 catches with 45 targets, 298 and 1 touchdown.
So they're super close.
So they're super close. They've been kind of forcing it to Brian Thomas or to BTJ. So I told you guys last year, I said I like Brian Thomas Jr. a lot. I think he was the 2nd fastest coming out, dude, just crazy fast coming out there.
Freak.
And I told you he was a slant and go guy. And slant and go guys are not necessarily all that great in the NFL moving down forward. Travis Hunter is a much better route runner and still has to improve on that. He's not perfect. But so number 1, if you have a defensive slot that you're playing defensive players, you keep Hunter. But I think I agree with both of you. I think they're going to move Hunter and trying to get him more targets to get him the ball. He did have 14 targets. He was 8 for 14 with 101 and a touchdown against the Rams. I really do think they're going to push him to give him the ball. I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver 1, but I do like him being at least a solid wide receiver 2 moving forward. I'm holding on to him for sure. And I'm hoping Brian Thomas Jr. gets better. I think the biggest problem in this offense more than anything else is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He is struggling back there, and man, it's hurting these 2 guys pretty bad. So, but I'm still holding on to Travis Hunter. A big name coming up here, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I think this one's for the viewers. What are you doing with Jonathan Taylor, who has had multiple, hold on, I want to tell you, top 5 finishes this year. He has had 5 top 5 finishes this year, 3 number 1s and 2 number 3s in his position. Are you holding him, or do you need to trade him?
Yeah, trade.
You hold him with diamond hands like he is AMC stock.
Hold the door.
Okay?
Yeah, he's that guy.
He's that guy. He looks fast, explosive, and he's on let me check, the best team in the NFL right now.
Oh, gosh, like, that's so gross.
It's gross to say. I totally agree. The Broncos had those guys beat, by the way. Okay, and I just think Jonathan Taylor is such a fundamental part of that offense, and I don't see him slowing down. I just don't. He's on pace right now to break all of Saquon's stats from last year. He's on pace to have a better total year this year in touchdowns, touches, and yards than Saquon had last year. He looks awesome. And bearing an injury, I think he's I can't even say he's a buy. What would it take to get JT off of somebody?
No. This is strictly a sell if you're going to sell.
Yeah,
it would be almost impossible to get him.
I don't think you sell him.
So
I think there's two players that you really can't get right now, and one is Jason and one is Jonathan Taylor. I think they're almost impossible to get right now.
So if I am currently a 3-5 team and I have JT,
all right,
and I'm needing to make a move.
Are you asking for a friend?
Yes, I'm asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Would you trade JT for Cooks and St. Brown or Cooks and Pickens?
Probably St. Brown and Cooks, maybe. That might do it for me. I have to get 2 1s. That's just where I'm at. I have to get a 1 running back and a 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is, go ahead, Chance.
If you're like a 3-5 team and you need to get those guys and really upgrade, I think that you could probably move JT to get a James Cook, and I mean, I guess to me that would be great. I would highly consider that trade. I think it's going to be hard to get 2 1s out of somebody. You're going to have to, I don't know, throw in I think you still need to throw in something else on the JT side. But if you could get it done, yeah. I mean,
and the reason why I threw this one out there is like, he's the number 1 running back. Yes, we get that. Why would I trade him? But you have to think sometimes multiple steps ahead if you're trying to get to the playoffs. Sometimes you just need to get to the playoffs, right? If you can get there and then strange things happen. So just because you have the number 1 player, just be mindful. Yes. Now that doesn't go without saying. JT has been hurt in the past, right? But we can't always predict injury. You shouldn't trade off of injury. You shouldn't trade off predictions, that type of stuff. So I wanted to throw that fun one out there for you guys. But I have 2 more, and we're going to get to Justin's. I'm pretty sure the one he wants very dead last. But Chance, what are we doing with RJ Harvey, who just came off last game, two rushes and a reception for touchdown, 3 touchdowns total. Are you trying to acquire him, or do you want to sell him with your Denver Broncos? I'm asking the expert, certainly from you.
I think I'm a sell. I think I'm a sell on RJ Harvey. And I say that because J.K. Dobbins is still really good and a fundamental part of that offense. I think RJ Harvey's involvement has been awesome, and he's gotten into the end zone in back-to-back weeks. He had a 3-touchdown game. I mean, that was awesome. But J.K. Dobbins still got the goal line work. He was still there on the goal line when they tried to rush it in, and he's still a really good running back. I think it's been awesome to watch Harvey get utilized more, and I think Sean Payton really likes what he has in him. But off of that game, if you could sell him, I would, because I don't think he's ever going to have the lead role, and it's going to be pretty up and down. I think you're going to have future games where he has a touchdown or 2, but I think you're also going to get games where he has no touchdowns, and he, 7 carries for 52 yards.
Justin?
Yeah, I mean, snap percentage hasn't gone up. I think that's the biggest thing. If I could go out and trade RJ Harvey for Quentin Junkins right now, I would do it so fast. And just trade him off of it and be like, hey, he had 3 touchdowns and Quentin Junkins didn't do anything. It's all about recency bias here a little bit. I would do that. I don't think his snap percentage is going to go up anymore. I think they're going to use him in spurts because they know they're going to use him in the playoffs in those big moments where they need an explosive play. He's going to be put in those situations. It feels like they're going to almost Kansas City Chiefs this back end of their schedule, where they're going to rely on JK, maybe run him into the dirt a little bit because he's on a shorter contract. There's not as much investment there. So I would sell RJ Harvey right now while I can. I don't know if he's going to have a 23-point game again. Maybe in the back end, maybe in the playoffs, like the real playoffs, the NFL playoffs, not the fantasy football playoffs. Okay.
Fair. Let me give you guys a couple stats. So Dobbins, 15 carries for 111 yards. And RJ Harvey had 7 carries for 46 yards, and one of those was a 40-yard run. So understand that. Let me ask you guys just real quickly, RJ Harvey for Chase Brown.
All day. I would trade. I would absolutely trade RJ Harvey to go get Chase Brown. Chase Brown's schedule moving forward is actually really nice. And I think that Joe Flacco opens up the run game a lot more.
Samaje Perine has just been getting a little bit of run. That scares me a little bit, but yeah, I get what Chance is saying.
RJ Harvey for Bill.
I'd rather have RJ Harvey. I'd rather have RJ Harvey.
Harvey for Mason, Jordan Mason.
RJ Harvey.
See, I'm Jordan Mason.
Maybe I'm more of a buy. I think
I'm Jordan Mason.
I think Aaron Jones coming back it scares me off of Jordan Mason a little bit more. Plus, give me a guy on a good offense over a guy playing behind JJ McCarthy any day.
Yeah, for sure. All right, our last guy. And I know Justin was like, can we please talk about this guy? So what are we doing with Gadsden? Are we buying or selling Gadsden if you picked him up? What do you want to do with him?
Okay, before we have this conversation, let's just talk about it real quick. And this is pertaining to Dynasty, so I just want to get the feel of the room. And Chance sent me this question: what tight ends would you trade a first round draft pick for right now?
In Dynasty.
Matt? So Brock Bowers.
Other tight end?
Yeah. So you have Brock Bowers, probably. You have Warren. I think Tucker Kraft is in that conversation.
He is now, for sure.
And I think Gadsden's in that conversation right now.
That's
close.
Such a stretch.
He's getting close. Just so we're clear. He's getting close.
2 games does not make you close to a first-round pick.
I mean, it might. He's a dog.
Tight ends that we talked about for in Dynasty.
So first round, okay. If I don't like to do it for tight ends in general, but if I had to, Kraft, McBride.
Sense. Oh yeah, McBride.
Warren.
Yep.
That's probably it. I don't even think I want Laporta.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's it for me.
All this said, just real quick for context, because we're talking about it. Early last week, probably a week ago, I sent Lineberry a second-round pick for Gadsden in a Dynasty league. I sent him a second-round pick straight up for Rodney Gadsden on a team where he has 7 tight ends. And Lineberry sat on it and I'm thinking, man, a second-round pick for this guy that you picked up off of waivers, pretty solid. He sat on it. And for all his talk about being a trade guy, I love to trade. Radio silence. And right before the game, I'm like, are we doing this? He's like, I don't know. And then he sat on it, and then I fleeced him. It was awesome. He's like, he might be worth a first. And so I switched it, and I traded him another really good tight end for a really cheap price. You got fleeced in that, but you were glad to get rid of him.
I was just trying to help you out, dude. I'm just trying to do you something.
Okay.
So Gadsden's been very, very much part of this offense here these last 3 weeks. 8, 9, and 5 targets with 7, 7, and 5 catches. He's got 27 catches on 33 targets, 385 yards, 2 touchdowns, and just been active, which we knew, at least if you followed Michigan football, if you followed 49ers, you knew at some point that Harbaugh would get his tight end involved. That's what he does. And it was just a matter of time for Gadsden to get there. That's why I picked him up in Dynasty. And I did pick him up in a few leagues in redraft because it didn't cost me anything. But are you buying him or are you selling him? Will this trend continue moving forward? What are your thoughts, Chance? What do you want to do?
I think he's a buy. I think he's a buy in just because the tight end landscape is so hard. The one thing that scares me about Gadsden is that we saw Quentin Johnston. We saw him goose this last week. And they have 3 really good receivers who all do different things in Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey and, surprise, Quentin Johnston, who looked really good early in the season. And I know we talked about him maybe being a sell, but I think that the Chargers are going to start throwing the ball. Their O-line is hurt. They're going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to lean on God's gift to earth, according to John Harbaugh, Justin Herbert. So I think Gadsden's a buy because they're going to be throwing the ball. It's just kind of where they're trending. I don't think he's always going to be this great week to week, but you got to buy tight ends that are going to get this kind of attention.
Justin?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty hard for Chance to get me to get off of him, which I didn't. I'm gonna bet on the age. He's just a big athletic freak. Like, he's 6'5", 236. Like, I think we all agreed this tight end class was severely underrated. I don't know if underrated is the right word. There was just so many good ones. Like, Harold Fannin is still a guy. I think the best tight end in the class, besides Tyler Warren, hasn't got a chance to pop yet, and that's Colston Loveland. Like, there's just so many good tight ends in this class. It's nauseating at sometimes, like, how many good ones there are. And I'm a tight end hoarder. Like, I keep as many as I can because I just want to solidify that position.
No,
it's
that's
so
fair.
true. You're infuriating.
Thank you.
It's okay.
I did find it interesting.
I got Dalton Kincaid from him, so I wasn't mad.
There you go. Definitely underrated if you can go get him as well. But I didn't put him on the list. I did find it interesting this last week. You know, Keenan Allen's interesting to me because he's 175 years old. He did have 14 targets previous week. This last week, he only had 5. So he was outpaced by Gadsden and Ladd McConkey, who had 10. So, but that's still a lot of targets in that receiving trio. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. They are truly going to throw the ball a lot more than we thought. Last year, there was very much a running offense. And I am curious to see, because I think Trey Harris even had some targets last week.
He had a touchdown.
As I pull him up, just curious. He had 2 targets. So you can kind of start to see this hierarchy. Quentin Johnston done, Trey Harris maybe on the rise, and maybe even a Keenan Allen decline as the season goes on, but it's hard because he's such a security blanket for there. So we'll see what happens.
One of the things with those Chargers too, you look at, you had Quentin Johnston had like 2 or 3 really good games to start the season, and everyone panicked about Ladd. And then Keenan Allen had a couple of really good games, and you're like, oh, what's going on? And then Ladd McConkey's had a couple of really good games the last 2 or 3. So it's like it's kind of hard to nail down who it's going to be. And we can panic on one now, but we were panicking on Ladd McConkey to start the season. And then
welcome to fantasy football.
We panicked on Keenan Allen. You know, it's like who's up, who's down on that team. It's a hard receiving core to pin down. Yeah, welcome to fantasy football. Yep. Chargers going to charge.
So for sure. In my list of those, as we wrap that up, the first 4 or 5 players were players that I'm trying to trade for, and these last group I'm trying to trade away.
You're trading in my mind. You're trading the great Gadsden?
I will probably try to trade him away. And the if I had Jonathan Taylor, and again, if I knew I needed to get some wins, I would trade him away. Otherwise, if I'm 7-1, why the heck would I trade him? I got to get something out of it. So, but a lot of fun. I love the buy and sell. Gosh, guys, so much. I do want to go over real fast of the score, or not really scores, but this week's upcoming games, and what you are looking forward to in this week's agenda. Last week, I was actually looking very much forward to the Giants and Philly game, and it didn't turn out how I thought. I think it might have been a little closer if Scadaboo. And I'm telling you, that Giants team, even though not very good, has been fun to watch because they're just scrappy. They've just been getting after it, a lot of energy. That's probably going to change a little bit, but
yeah, it is because they just worked out Deontay Johnson. So you know you're on the decline when you work out Deontay Johnson.
Exactly. Chance, give me a game that you're looking forward to this week, either for your own personal stuff or for fantasy football and what you want to see.
I mean, I don't know how we're not all stoked about Chiefs-Bills.
Yeah.
Like Chiefs-Bills is going to be – I hope it lives up. I always have that fear that these games that we hype up so hard end up being real letdowns for fantasy because they're actual good football games where the defense is good and it's not just all offense all the time. But I'm really looking forward to the Chiefs-Bills. I'm a little nervous about my Broncos against the Texans without PS2, but it's just because the Texans have a good defense. So it'll be a good test. If the Broncos win that, I feel really good about their season, but I'm nervous. But Chiefs-Bills, going to be great. Go Bills.
Justin.
I'm just going to go with the two highest over-under games. Arizona-Dallas. I hope Marvin Harrison just goes off. Just balls out. And then Chicago-Cincinnati. I think that'll be a pretty offensive game. See Joe Flacco ball out against the Chicago Bears. Hopefully Caleb Williams get right game. We'll see.
How bad would it be that we just saw Fields do what he did against the Bengals and then Caleb Williams not being able to do anything against the Bengals? That could be bad. So I am looking for that game as well, Justin. I'm intrigued by the Falcons-Patriots game a little bit. I want to see if the Falcons can bounce back. Against the Patriots, they're sneakily 6-2. They're kind of like, they're doing okay, right?
We're gonna boat race them. Watch, we're gonna boat race them because we can only beat freaking good teams. Watch.
Yeah. So who knows? I am interested in that game quite a bit. So, any final thoughts before we jump off? Again, we want you guys to win your fantasy football leagues. Leave a comment. I want to give a shout out to Landy for popping on and asking questions. Had some great questions. We like doing that more than anything else. We want you to win your fantasy football league. So make sure you like, subscribe, tune in. But final comments before we go, Justin, give me your thoughts.
There's one player that I feel like maybe getting a little bit overlooked right now because their best player came back. So CeeDee Lamb came back a couple weeks ago, and I feel like George Pickens is just ripe for the Pickens. Like, I feel like you can go. I feel like you can go get him. That was for Chance right there. I feel like you can go. I feel like you can go get him for cheap. Like, he still has a good target share. He has a good snap percentage. Everything feels the same, whether CD is there or not. So I feel like maybe that manager is like, well, maybe Pickens is not going to be anything. I feel like you can go get him for not a crazy price.
I like that. Mine's also wide receiver related. I was just thinking today, just talking about JSN with my brother and then you guys about how great JSN has been and how he's really turned it on this last year. And it just made me think of Marvin Harrison Jr. because I want Marv to be good. I want Marv to show up. And so I just had looked real quick at Marv last year in half-point PPR. Scored 165.5 fantasy points. Do you guys know what JSN scored his rookie year? I know he was behind DK, but any guesses what JSN's rookie?
147.
118.
Oh, wow.
So, I joked, maybe it was Justin. I said, man, what happened to the good old-fashioned year 3 wide receiver breakout? I hope that there is. I thought maybe Marv was going to be on your buy sell. I'm still a believer, man. I hope he starts to turn it on.
Interesting you talk about that, Chance. I did buy Marv thinking he's got it. I know he's currently being outpaced in targets by
McBride.
Oh, good Lord. McBride. Yeah, it's like 60-some to 40-some. It's hard because I just think that offense is messed up. The offense is not right. The kid's uber talented, and I know one of the things that kind of got me stuck back in the back of my head here was he scored that touchdown. He was on his knees, almost like praying, like he caught a touchdown. I'm like, man, it's been that bad, huh? Yeah. It's been that bad that it's like, wow, you're that really, like, you were a really good wide receiver. It's like, oh, thank God I finally got in here. But I hope he can turn around. I'm a big fan as well. There was another player that I'm still riding, and he has not had a good last 3 weeks, and I'm still riding the Ibuka train. I just think he's going to be solid. He was 72, 32, and 55 in overall the last 3 weeks. He had a couple. I mean, he gets a ton of target share still. So keep riding that train. I'm looking forward to see what he can do when he comes back off of his bye. So
Baker won't be bad forever.
Agreed. I agree. You roll him out there. So.
Just 2 bad weeks. We all said Bo leave.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Gosh, we went over an hour today. Chance, it was wonderful to have you back. It's always fun when you're on. We have a blast. Time flies
when you're having fun.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. Remember, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Just helps out the channel. You guys know what it does. And again, leave comments in here. Let's chat it up. We want to help you guys win your leagues. We may not be the most sophisticated fantasy football channel out there, but we sure do have a lot of fun doing what we're doing. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you guys next week.